Chapter 1. Young Albert. Albert Einstein was born in a small German town called Ulm on March 14, 1879. His mother, Pauline, was a caring woman who loved music. His father, Hermann, was a merchant who sold feathers. Albert had a younger sister named Maja, who was his only sibling. Albert's parents noticed that he was different from other children. As a baby, he was quiet and seemed to think a lot. He started talking later than most children. His parents were worried about this, but as Albert grew older, they saw that he was just deep in thought. He liked to figure things out by himself. Their home in Ulm was comfortable, but it was not a rich home. They did not have many things, but they had enough. Albert's mother played the piano, and the sound of music often filled their home. This sparked Albert's love for music, a love he kept all his life. When Albert was 5 years old, his father showed him a compass. A compass is a small tool that points north because of the Earth's magnetic field. This compass made a big impact on Albert. He could not understand how it worked. How could something invisible make the needle move? He thought about this a lot. This was the start of Albert's interest in science. Albert went to a Catholic school in Munich because his parents thought it was the best school in the city. But he did not like the way they taught things there. They wanted students to learn by memorizing, but Albert preferred to learn by understanding. Albert's family was Jewish, but they were not very religious. They did not go to the synagogue often, and they did not follow many Jewish traditions. But they were proud of their Jewish heritage. Later in life, Albert would stand up for Jewish people and other groups who were treated unfairly. In these early years, Albert learned many important things. He learned about love from his family, about music from his mother, about business from his father, and about fairness from his own heart. But most importantly, he learned about the joy of understanding the world. This joy would guide his life and lead him to make great discoveries in science. In the next part, we will learn about an event that happened when Albert was a young boy. This event changed his life and started his journey to becoming one of the most famous scientists in the world. When Albert was 5 years old, his father Hermann gave him a small gift. It was not a toy or a book. It was a compass. A compass is a simple tool that shows which way is north. But to young Albert, it was much more than that. It was a mystery, a puzzle that he could not solve. Albert looked at the compass and saw the small needle inside. The needle was not touching anything. There was no string pulling it, no hand pushing it. But still, it moved. It always pointed in the same direction, towards the north. Albert was amazed. He could not understand how it worked. How could something invisible make the needle move? He asked his father and his teachers, but their answers did not satisfy him. They told him that the compass worked because of something called magnetism. But they could not explain what magnetism was or how it worked. This made Albert even more curious. He wanted to find out the answer by himself. Albert began to think about the compass all the time. He thought about it at school, at home, even in his dreams. He read books about magnetism and electricity. He did experiments with magnets. He tried to imagine what it would be like if he could see the invisible forces that made the compass needle move. This was the beginning of Albert's love for physics. Physics is the science that explains how the world works. It tells us why the sky is blue, why the earth goes around the sun, and why a compass points north. Albert wanted to understand all these things. He wanted to solve the mysteries of the universe. The compass mystery taught Albert an important lesson. It showed him that the world is full of wonders, and that science can help us understand these wonders. It also showed him that it is okay to ask questions and to be curious. This is how we learn and grow. Albert Einstein was a very curious child. He liked to ask questions and to explore the world around him. He wanted to understand everything. But when he went to school, he faced some challenges. In those days, schools were very different from today. Teachers did not encourage students to ask questions or to think creatively. They wanted students to learn by memorizing facts and rules. They believed that this was the best way to learn, but Albert did not agree. Albert did not like memorizing things. He thought it was boring and useless. He wanted to understand things, not just remember them. He wanted to know why things happened, not just what happened. He believed that learning should be a journey of discovery, not a task of memorization. Albert's teachers did not understand him. They thought he was lazy and disrespectful. They did not like his questions and his arguments. They thought he was a troublemaker. But Albert was not trying to cause trouble. He was just trying to learn in his own way. Albert's parents were worried about him. They wanted him to do well in school and to have a good future. They tried to help him, but they did not know how. They did not understand why Albert was so different from other children. Despite these challenges, Albert did not give up. He kept asking questions and seeking answers. He kept reading books and doing experiments. He kept dreaming about the mysteries of the universe. The school challenges made Albert stronger. They taught him to be independent and to trust his own mind. They showed him that it is okay to be different, and that it is important to stand up for what you believe in. These lessons helped Albert to become the great scientist that he was. In the end, Albert Einstein did not fit into the traditional education system, but that did not stop him from learning and growing. He found his own path, a path that led him to make some of the most important discoveries in the history of science. In the next chapter, we will follow Albert as he continues his journey. We will see how he went from being a rebellious student to becoming one of the most famous scientists in the world.